Every single person in this room has two versions of themselves. One is weak, the other is powerful. One makes excuses, the other takes action. One stays comfortable, the other pushes forward. And the truth is, right now, one of those versions is in control of your life. You already know which one I'm talking about. That weak version, you hear it every single day. It whispers in your ear when you wake up, telling you to hit snooze, telling you that 5 more minutes won't hurt. It shows up when you're supposed to go to the gym, but suddenly you convince yourself you're too tired, too busy, or that missing one day won't make a difference. It's there when you want to start something new, launch that business, level up in your career, take a risk, but instead you let doubt creep in. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I'm not good enough? That voice, that's the weak version of you. And let me tell you something. If you keep listening to it, if you keep feeding it, it will control your entire life. It will rob you of your potential. It will chain you to mediocrity. It will convince you that you're doing enough when deep down you know you're capable of so much more. The problem is most people don't even realize how much control their weak self has over them. They've lived with it for so long that they think it's normal. They think it's just who they are. But that's a lie. You were not born to be weak. You were not meant to live in fear. You were not put on this earth to be average. You have to recognize that weak version for what it is, a parasite, a leech that feeds off your comfort, your procrastination, your excuses. And like any parasite, if you don't kill it, it will kill you. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally. It'll keep you playing small. It'll keep you from ever experiencing the true power that's inside you. You have to make a decision right here, right now. You have to decide that you are done being controlled by that voice, done giving in to laziness, done running from responsibility, done making excuses. You have to make a choice, a real permanent choice, to silence that weak version and take control of your life. And that doesn't mean just saying it. Anybody can say, I want to be better. That's easy. But real change, real transformation, that takes action. That takes looking in the mirror and admitting that you've been operating at a fraction of your potential. It takes owning up to the fact that you've let fear stop you, that you've let comfort seduce you, that you've let the opinions of other people hold more weight than your own dreams. That's not an easy pill to swallow. But if you can face that truth, if you can acknowledge that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is you, then you can do something about it. Most people, they won't do it. They'll hear this and nod their heads, get fired up for a moment, and then go right back to their old habits. They'll go back to listening to that weak voice, and in a week, in a month, in a year, they'll still be in the same place. But you're not most people. You're here for a reason, and you have two choices. Keep living as the weak version of yourself. Keep repeating the same cycles. Keep making the same excuses, or make today the day that everything changes. The day you stop letting that weak voice dictate your life, the day you kill that old version of yourself and unleash who you were always meant to be. Because if you don't, that weak version will be the only thing standing at your grave, whispering the saddest words a person can ever hear. You could have been so much more. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. Your life is exactly where you've allowed it to be. Every success, every failure, every struggle, every breakthrough, it all comes down to one thing: the choices you've made. The problem is, most people don't want to admit that. They want to believe their circumstances are someone else's fault. They want to believe they're stuck because of their parents, their boss, their past, or some situation they couldn't control. But that kind of thinking, it's a trap. A prison you build for yourself. Because the second you blame something or someone else for where you are in life, you give up your power. You make yourself a victim. And victims don't change. Victims don't evolve. Victims stay exactly where they are, repeating the same patterns, telling the same stories, making the same excuses year after year, until one day they look back and realize they wasted their entire life waiting for something outside of them to change. That's not going to be you. You didn't come this far to hand over your life to excuses. You didn't come this far to let circumstances define you. You came here to take ownership. Because the truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Not your family, not your friends, not your government, not some miracle down the road. It's all on you. And that's not a bad thing. It's the best news you'll ever hear. Because if it's all on you, that means you have the power to change it. If you're in control, then you're not stuck. If you're in control, then nothing can stop you. But you've got to be willing to step up and take full responsibility for where you are right now, even for the things that weren't your fault. Maybe you had a rough childhood. Maybe people betrayed you. Maybe life knocked you down in ways you didn't deserve. Guess what? That's life. Life is unfair. Life is ruthless. But life doesn't care about fair. It cares about what you do next. It cares about whether you let your past define you or whether you use it as fuel to become something greater. There are people who had nothing, no money, no support, no opportunities, who still found a way to win. And there are people who had every advantage, wealth, connections, talent, who still found a way to lose. What does that tell you? It tells you that circumstances don't define success. Decisions do. Your decisions. And the first decision you need to make is this: no more blaming. No more blaming your upbringing. No more blaming your boss. No more blaming the economy. No more blaming your past. No more waiting for the right time, the right people, the right opportunity. You are responsible for your life. You are responsible for your mindset, your actions, your results. That's a hard truth, but it's a powerful one. Because when you own everything, you can change anything. Look at the people who are truly successful, the ones who have built great businesses, great bodies, great relationships, great lives. You know what they all have in common? They take responsibility. They don't waste time pointing fingers. If they fail, they own it. If something doesn't work out, they don't sit around complaining. They figure out how to adjust, how to grow, how to make it happen anyway. They refuse to be victims. And that's the mindset you need to have. From this moment forward, you have to stop waiting for someone to give you permission to change. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment to start. You have to stop believing that life owes you something. Life owes you nothing. But if you're willing to work, if you're willing to take control, if you're willing to grind when others quit, you can create the life most people only dream about. It starts with a decision, right here, right now. A decision to stop blaming and start building. A decision to stop wishing and start working. A decision to stop living at half speed and go all in on the life you were meant to live. Because if you don't, if you keep making excuses, keep blaming others, keep waiting for something to change, then years from now, when you look in the mirror, you won't see the person you could have become. You'll see the person who let life beat them. And that's the greatest failure of all. Most people think success comes down to talent, luck, or intelligence. They think the people at the top have some kind of advantage, that they were gifted something special. But let me tell you something, that's a lie. The real difference between the people who win and the people who stay stuck isn't talent, it isn't intelligence, it isn't even luck, it's mentality. It's the mindset that says, no matter what happens, I will not stop, I will not break, I will not back down, because life is going to test you. That's a guarantee. It's going to throw obstacles in your way. It's going to hit you with setbacks, failures, disappointments. You're going to have moments where you doubt yourself, where you feel like quitting, where everything in you is screaming to just take the easy way out. And that's the moment that separates the weak from the relentless. That's the moment that defines whether you stay average or rise to your true potential. Most people fold. They hit a little resistance and they retreat. They feel a little discomfort and they stop. They try something once, and if it doesn't work, they decide it's not meant to be. But the people who actually succeed, the ones who dominate in their field, the ones who build legacies, they don't run. They don't fold. They don't make excuses. They adapt. They grind. They find a way. You think Michael Jordan made it to the top because he was naturally gifted? No, he got cut from his high school team. He could have quit right then. He could have believed the coach, believed the critics, believed the doubt, but instead he got to work. He became relentless. He made a decision that nobody would outwork him. And that decision, that's what made him a champion, and it's the same for you. The life you want, the success you crave, the future you dream about, it's not going to be handed to you. It's not going to fall into your lap. You have to go take it. You have to earn it. And that means developing the kind of mentality that doesn't back down when things get hard, that doesn't crumble when life throws a punch, that doesn't look for a way out, but instead looks for a way through. Because that's where real power comes from. It doesn't come from comfort. It doesn't come from taking it easy. It comes from pushing through when you don't feel like it. It comes from showing up even when you're tired, even when you're frustrated, even when nothing seems to be going your way. It comes from refusing to quit no matter how many times you fall. And let me be clear, this isn't about motivation. Motivation is weak. Motivation fades. Anyone can be motivated when things are going well, when they feel good, when they're seeing results. But what about when it gets hard? What about when you hit a wall? That's when most people quit, because they relied on motivation instead of discipline. They relied on feeling good instead of having a non-negotiable standard for themselves. The best don't wait to feel like it. They don't wait for the perfect conditions. They operate on a different level, a level where action is automatic. They don't ask themselves, do I feel like working today? No, they just work. They don't ask themselves, should I push forward? They just push. Because they've trained their mind to be relentless. They've trained themselves to show up, to execute, to dominate no matter what. And that's what separates the weak from the strong. The weak are controlled by their feelings. The strong are controlled by their purpose. The weak need everything to be easy. The strong thrive in difficulty. The weak make excuses. The strong make adjustments. So which one are you? Because I'll tell you right now, your future is being built by the decisions you make today. Every time you push forward when you want to quit, you're building your future. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're building your future. Every time you refuse to let weakness win, you're building your future. So the question isn't, do you want it? The question is, are you willing to do what it takes? Because life isn't going to hand you anything. Success doesn't care how bad you want it. It only responds to one thing: relentless execution. So when life knocks you down, get back up. When you fail, learn and adjust. When you hit a wall, break through it. And when that weak version of you tries to take control, shut it down. Be relentless, because that's the only way you win. Success isn't built on what you do once in a while. It's built on what you do every single day. It's not about big moments of inspiration or that one time you pushed yourself hard. It's about the small, consistent actions that stack up over time. You want to know why most people never reach their potential? Because they chase motivation instead of building habits. They wait to feel ready instead of creating a system that makes them ready no matter what. That's why so many people start strong but never finish. They get excited, they go all in for a week, maybe even a month, but the moment life gets busy, the moment things get inconvenient, they fall right back into their old patterns. And you know why? Because they never rewired their habits. They relied on hype, on feeling good, instead of creating a routine that forces them to level up day in and day out. You are your habits, plain and simple. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your routines. Your success, your discipline, your growth, it's all locked inside your daily habits. The way you wake up, the way you attack your work, the way you train, the way you fuel your body, the way you talk to yourself when nobody's watching. That's what determines your future. Not what you say you're going to do. Not what you hope will happen, what you consistently do. Look at your life right now. Be honest. Are your habits pushing you forward or holding you back? Are they making you stronger or keeping you stuck? Because everything you do on autopilot, every action you repeat daily is either building the strongest version of you or feeding the weak version. There is no in between. You say you want to be fit, but do your habits reflect that? Do you train when you don't feel like it? Do you fuel your body with what it needs, or do you eat whatever's convenient? You say you want to be successful, but are your habits aligned with that vision? Do you wake up early and attack the day, or do you hit snooze? Do you spend hours on social media, scrolling, watching other people live their dreams, or do you invest that time into building your own? Every little decision counts. That extra hour of sleep, that skipped workout, that one time you say, I'll do it tomorrow. Those moments add up. And before you know it, a year has passed, 5 years have passed, and you're in the exact same place wondering what went wrong. What went wrong is simple. You didn't build the right habits. Discipline is what separates the great from the average. And discipline isn't about making one big effort. It's about showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when nobody is watching, even when there's no applause, even when the results aren't coming as fast as you want them to. Because the truth is, real success is boring. It's not flashy. It's not always exciting. It's about doing the same things over and over with precision, with focus, with intensity, until one day you look up and realize you've transformed into the person you were meant to be. But here's the thing. Bad habits don't just go away because you want them to. You have to replace them with better ones. You have to consciously choose every day to build habits that serve you instead of destroy you. And that's not easy, because bad habits feel good in the moment. They're easy. They're comfortable. That's why most people stay stuck. They take the easy route over and over again until they've built a life that's a reflection of laziness instead of greatness. You have to decide that comfort is no longer your priority. You have to decide that your habits will no longer be controlled by how you feel in the moment, because your feelings will betray you. Your feelings will tell you to sleep in. Your feelings will tell you to take a day off. Your feelings will tell you that you've done enough, even when you know you're capable of more. The best in the world, they don't operate on feelings. They operate on standards. They have non-negotiables. They don't let their emotions dictate their actions. They let their vision dictate their actions. And that's exactly what you need to do. So starting today, take full control of your habits. Audit your daily routine. Identify the patterns that are keeping you weak and eliminate them. Replace them with habits that build strength, discipline, and success. And then do them. Every single day, not when it's easy, not when it's convenient, every single day. Because at the end of the day, you won't become your goals, your dreams, or your wishes. You will become your habits. If there's one thing that will keep you small, weak, and stuck, it's your environment, the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, the energy you allow into your life. It all matters more than you think. Because whether you realize it or not, your surroundings are shaping you. They're either sharpening you into the best version of yourself or dulling your edge, making you soft, making you weak. Take a hard look at the people around you. Do they push you? Do they challenge you? Do they inspire you to be better, to do more, to think bigger? Or are they comfortable? Are they lazy? Are they full of excuses, dragging you into the same cycle of mediocrity they've accepted for themselves? Because I'll tell you this right now, you cannot outperform your environment. You cannot grow into your potential if you're constantly surrounded by people who settle for less. Most people never realize this until it's too late. They think they're in control, that they can be around negativity and not absorb it. But energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. Weakness is contagious. Spend enough time around people who make excuses, and soon you'll find yourself making excuses too. Spend enough time around people who complain, and suddenly you'll start complaining about things you used to push through. It's subtle, but it's real, and before you know it, you're not just surrounded by mediocrity, you've become part of it. That's why you have to be ruthless about who and what you allow into your life. You have to protect your mindset like your life depends on it, because it does. If you're serious about becoming the strongest, most powerful version of yourself, you have to cut out the dead weight. You have to let go of the people who drain your energy, the ones who laugh at your ambitions, the ones who can't see beyond their own limitations. It doesn't matter if they're friends, it doesn't matter if they're family. You can love people from a distance, but you cannot let them pull you down, because your future is too important. Your potential is too valuable. And if you keep letting small-minded, excuse-making, negative people speak into your life, they will destroy everything you're working for. Not because they're bad people, not because they want to hurt you, but because they're stuck and they don't want to be alone in their stagnation. The second you start breaking away, the second you start changing, they'll feel uncomfortable. They'll feel exposed. They'll try to bring you back down, not because they hate you, but because your growth is a reminder of what they're not doing. You need to surround yourself with people who elevate you, people who push you past your limits, people who refuse to let you settle, who challenge your excuses, who see more in you than you see in yourself. Those are the people who will change your life. And let me tell you something. If you don't have those people right now, go find them. Don't sit around waiting for the right crowd to show up. Seek them out. Get in the right rooms. Read the right books. Listen to the right voices. If you have to, build your circle from scratch. But don't you dare settle for an environment that keeps you weak. Because the strongest, most successful people in the world, they are obsessive about their environment. They don't waste time with people who drain them. They don't engage in pointless negativity. They don't entertain small-minded conversations. They build circles that sharpen them, push them, and force them to level up. And that's exactly what you need to do. You have to be intentional. You have to be disciplined. You have to ask yourself every single day, is my environment making me better? Are the people around me pushing me to be my best, or are they keeping me comfortable, keeping me average, keeping me weak? Because at the end of the day, you will either rise to the level of the people around you, or you will sink to their level. There is no middle ground. You are always being influenced, whether you see it or not. And if you don't control your environment will control you. So cut the dead weight. Remove the distractions. Surround yourself with people who force you to level up. And never, ever apologize for choosing greatness. Most people live their entire lives trapped by fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort, fear of the unknown. And because of that fear, they stay stuck. They hesitate, they hold back, they live at half speed, never fully committing, never fully unleashing what they're truly capable of. And then one day they wake up and realize they wasted years playing it safe. Fear is the single greatest killer of potential. It's the voice in your head telling you to wait, to be cautious, to not take the risk. It convinces you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you need more time. And if you listen to that voice, if you let fear control you, it will own you. It will shrink your life, limit your choices, and steal everything you were meant to have. But here's the truth. Fear is a liar. It's an illusion. It's not real. The only power fear has is the power you give it. And the only way to kill fear is to confront it, to attack it head on, to do the very thing fear is telling you not to do. Because once you do that, you realize something incredible. Fear only exists in your mind. The moment you step into it, the moment you take action despite it, fear loses its grip. It fades, it weakens, and suddenly you're no longer controlled by it, you're in control. Most people think confidence comes first. They think they need to feel ready before they take action, but that's not how it works. Action comes first. Courage comes first. You build confidence by moving forward in the face of fear, not by waiting for fear to disappear. Because fear never truly goes away, it just learns to respect you. It learns that you are no longer its prisoner. So let me ask you, what are you afraid of? What's the thing you've been avoiding? What's the move you know you need to make but keep pushing off because fear is whispering in your ear? Maybe it's starting that business. Maybe it's walking away from a situation that no longer serves you. Maybe it's putting yourself out there, taking that leap, going all in. Whatever it is, let me make this clear. You cannot wait. You cannot keep letting fear run the show. Because the longer you wait, the stronger fear gets. The more you hesitate, the more power fear gains over you. And before you know it, years have passed and you're still in the same place. Looking back at all the things you could have done if only you had the courage to act. You weren't designed to live small. You weren't meant to be average, to settle, to let fear dictate your life. You were built for more. You were built to be bold, to take risks, to step into the unknown with absolute certainty that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. Because that's the real secret. Fear doesn't go away, but you get stronger. You develop the kind of mindset that says, I don't care if I'm afraid. I'm going to do it anyway. And once you adopt that mentality, nothing can stop you. Because when you stop fearing failure, you become unstoppable. When you stop fearing rejection, you become limitless. When you stop fearing discomfort, you unlock a level of power most people will never experience. And here's the best part. The moment you step through fear, the moment you break past it, you win, you grow, you elevate, and suddenly what once scared you becomes easy. You level up, and the things that used to intimidate you become nothing more than stepping stones to the next level of your life. So make the decision today. Decide that fear will no longer control you. Decide that you will no longer hesitate, no longer hold back, no longer play small. Face what scares you. Move toward the thing that makes you uncomfortable. Step into the unknown with absolute certainty that you are built for this. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you are meant to live is the fear you refuse to face. Kill it, and watch what happens next. Everything you want, everything you are capable of lies beyond the weak version of yourself. The excuses, the doubts, the fears, the bad habits, the toxic environment, they are not you. They are the chains holding you back. And the moment you decide to kill that weak version, the moment you commit fully to unleashing your true potential, everything changes. No more waiting, no more hesitating, no more living small. Build the discipline, master your habits, surround yourself with winners, attack fear head on, and most importantly, never settle for anything less than your absolute best. Because the greatest tragedy is not failing, it's never trying. The real failure is waking up one day and realizing you never became who you were meant to be. Don't let that be you. Stand up, step up, and from this moment forward, live at your highest level. The time is now. Go claim your greatness.